Sure. One of the things people are really interested in is guaranteeing some minimum quality of experience on the Wi-Fi. Everyone knows there's a lot of bad Wi-Fi networks out there, and while Ruckus networks generally work a lot better, you can still have temporary congestion, you can still have overload due to just a large number of users jumping on the network at a particular time. So one of the things that we're introducing early next year is, in 2014, is what I think we're going to call something like capacity-based admission control, where again we're using our ability to precisely characterize the throughput of the radio, the capacity of the radio. And if the capacity falls beneath some predetermined threshold, we will simply stop accepting new associations. We won't respond to probes, we won't respond to association requests, and so forth. And so that if a radio does become overloaded temporarily, we will preclude it from becoming even more overloaded by simply not allowing any new users to join that radio. So basically, as soon as we see that connection going, that throughput of the radio dropping too low, we'll stop accepting new connections, we'll stop accepting even probe requests. So it's almost as if that AP completely disappears. So from a client interoperability standpoint, it's actually very clean. It's just any of the overloaded APs just simply disappear from the client's perspective. If there is another AP that's available, it has that option. If the cellular network is there, then it would tend to use that cellular network. One of the other things that we're actually looking at is more of a throughput-based approach to all load balancing decisions. If there is another AP available, we want to be able to explicitly determine that this client will be better served on this particular radio, either a 5 gig radio as opposed to a 2.4 gigahertz radio, or two neighboring APs. We want to make sure that the client is always going to be associated on the better one, and we're going to do that using a throughput, a capacity-based approach. As I mentioned earlier, the RSSI metrics that you tend to get from these chipsets are very unreliable, and especially so in large venues. You have so much noise and interference, both Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi, various video control devices, all these types of things are conspiring to create extremely poor signal strength measurements. All this stuff gets added together, and to the AP it looks like signal, but actually very little of it is the useful signal that is actually the user that you care about. And so when you're doing all these different optimizations, you need to be optimizing something that's never going to mislead you. If you optimize for something that is occasionally misleading, whenever it is misleading, you're going to get completely the wrong result that you want. In many cases, the opposite of the result that you wanted. So the thing you always care about is throughput. So if you can measure that throughput, you can measure that capacity, and you can optimize all these different things around that, it's never going to mislead you. Unlike RSSI, which especially in these crazy echo chambers of arenas, those can be very, very misleading metrics, which will cause your system to perform poorly if you make decisions based on that.